Hello again, everybody. Welcome to the Bowl Preview Series brought to you by us, Scott and Scott, as we taking a look at every bowl game on the board. Welcome aboard. I am Scott Steen. I am the lead handicapper at winnersandwhiners.com, joined as always by the esteemed co-host, the one and only
Scott Reichel, senior handicapper over winnersandwhiners.com.
Winnersandwhiners.com, number one site in the world for predictive sports analysis. If you haven't checked it out, it is a great place to get some great information, up-to-date injury reports, opt-outs, et cetera, always there for you, always free. Winnersandwhiners.com, previews, predictions, and picks on every single game, every single day, not just the bowl game. So, Scott, this is bowl game number 36. This is the Vrbo Citrus Bowl. You know what Vrbo is, Scott?
They help you with your sentences by telling you what a verb is.
It's a very good guess. They're actually a competitor to, they're the overnight stay places. What's the big one?
Airbnb.
Airbnb, right? Which Vrbo is a competitor to them. You stayed in Airbnb lately, Scott?
I have stayed in Airbnbs in the past.
Fees have gotten outrageous, just outrageous fees. It used to be a great deal. You could find some absolute steals on Airbnb, but they have jacked up the prices and the fees.
I'm assuming that's COVID related.
I don't know, man. I mean, it's not a COVID fee. It's just a bullshit fee. It's just way too much money. You know, if I'm going to pay the same amount of money to stay in a hotel or an Airbnb, probably going to lean towards the hotel. Just saying.
It's always cheaper to stay in the car.
Well, we'll see how these bowl games go. That could be where I'm staying. We'll see what happens here. We've got another Big Ten battle against the SEC. Scott, it seems like we just had one of these, didn't we?
It definitely feels that way.
This is going to be your Iowa Hawkeyes against the Kentucky Wildcats. The sun shines bright on their old Kentucky home. Kentucky 3-point favorites here, Scott. 44 is your total. Iowa's best player, running back Tyler Goodson. What do you think he's doing, Scott? What's he doing?
He had better things to do.
He had better things to do. He's opting out to prepare to get drafted in the 5th round of the NFL draft. So congratulations there. Of course, Kentucky, they're not going away unscathed. They're without a couple of wide receivers in Josh Ali and Isaiah Epps. They were involved in a car crash. One of those is the number 2 wide receiver, and Epps is the number 2 tight end. Kind of used more as a hybrid, but I don't know about this Iowa team because they got a quarterback problem, Scott. They've I don't care if it's Spencer Petras or Padilla. Neither one of these guys can wing the pigskin around at all, and I'm just not convinced. They've got as far as Kentucky goes, they've got a transfer quarterback from Penn State, Will Levis. He had a decent season, Scott, 2,579 yards, 23 touchdowns, 387 yards on the ground, and another 9 touchdowns there. So very, very solid quarterback play for Kentucky. He will throw the interception. And Iowa, that is a ball-hawking team, Scott. They can go down and flat get after it. Levis has been picked off 12 times. And Iowa leads the nation, 24 interceptions, and they picked off 2 against Michigan. Didn't really matter at that point. But as far as this one goes, I hate the quarterbacks so much for Iowa, Scott. I think this Kentucky team has kind of been underappreciated. Not a lot of great signature wins like a lot of these games we're going to be talking about where they've had good, solid season. They beat the teams they were supposed to, but no really stunning victories for the Kentucky Wildcats. I don't know, Scott. What would you call what's Kentucky's best win this season? Do you think?
I think my counter argument for you would be what Iowa's best win was when you look at their overall season from start to finish in hindsight, because they haven't really beaten anybody. But to answer your question with Kentucky, they don't have many good wins in hindsight. I mean, Florida was a win, I guess. Yep. I'd say the best win was probably the finale against Louisville because they won by 31 on the road.
Mm-hmm.
But that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
You look at Iowa, though, they haven't beaten anybody either.
No,
who have they beaten?
It's weird that you get these 2 teams that are representative of big conferences, but they they pretty much no-showed against every team with a pulse. Probably Iowa's best win I would call over Penn State. Of
But I'm
course, they have
saying, beginning of the season, they beat a ranked Indiana team who ended
Mhm.
up 2-10, by the way. Beat
Yeah, not
Iowa
good.
State, who was around 500, slightly over, but still. You beat Penn State, who once again 4-5 in conference play, 7-5 overall. You beat Minnesota, and that's really it. So both teams had better wins when the season started, or when the season was in the beginning point compared to now.
Yep, agreed. So I'm gonna have to hold my nose. Just comes down to quarterback play for me. I think everything else is fairly equal, and Iowa without their best player, without a running back to take the pressure off whoever is under center, it's going to be Petrus that starts. We'll see how that goes as far as how much he plays and how much Padilla gets to play. I'm going to go with the SEC here, Scott. I've got SEC. I've got Kentucky minus the 3. I think there'll be some points. I think there'll be some bad turnovers in this one. Short fields involved. I'll take the over 44 as well.
So for this one, I think if you like Iowa, parlay it with the under
Got to do it.
because they can't get into a shootout with Kentucky. I'll tell you
Correct.
that much. Now, if
Correct.
Iowa wins, expect 16-13, but I'm going Kentucky. At
Okay.
the end of the day, you kind of hit the nail on the head. I think that Petrus is atrocious, and Goodson had 1,100 plus rushing yards with him out of the lineup. Iowa's offense is somehow going to look even worse. Kentucky's defense was hit or miss, but it was pretty good for the most part. And I like the fact that A. Rodriguez is a really underrated running back. I think he's very good.
Mm-hmm.
And Levis can run. And I
Yep.
think that Kentucky is going to have some success on the ground. They really should try to limit Levis's attempts in the pocket because of the interception issue that he's had. But I expect Kentucky to run the ball well. Iowa's defense is still solid, but the offense should do nothing. And I have a hard time taking it over when I'm not sure one of these teams is going to reach 10 points. So I'm going to take the under. Give me Kentucky winning this 24-14.
Fair enough, and I think that's legit. I definitely think that's the correlated parlay angle, much more with Iowa than there is
Yeah.
on the Kentucky side because Kentucky, like you said, they could win this one 24-7 and still have it stay well under the total. So
Or they could
you
score
and I
30 something, the game goes over and they win. But Iowa really needs to limit Kentucky to, I'd say, less than 24 points if they want a shot to win this game.
agreed. Ziwa Carter, by the way, checking in with his opinion of Vrbo, says Vrbo it sucks. So yeah, I don't know. Like I said, they've really kind of become a thing since the pandemic. I know they were around before that, but I've never used them. I've used Airbnb, so I'll have to check out.
I prefer using comps at Vegas, but that's just me.
Always true. Always true. All right, guys. That's going to do it for this one. We've got 2 down, 3 to go for our New Year's Day bowl games. You and I agree on Kentucky minus the 3. We are split on the total. You've got the under 44, and I've got a slight lean towards the over in that one. That's going to do it for our broadcast here. As far as the Vrbo Citrus Bowl goes, you guys stick around. We've got a few more to go. Of course, good luck on all your plays. Thanks for being part of the show, and we'll just see you all.